my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use CeraVe's Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Serum. Now at first I want to go over some general information, then I want to share with you some example skincare routines, and lastly I want to show you the application on my face so that you can see it visually. Now when it comes to CeraVe's Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Serum, it contains hyaluronic acid, 3 essential ceramides and vitamin B5, which can help you to hydrate the skin, to restore your skin barrier and to calm and soothe the skin. While at the same time it also contains dimethicone, which can help you to protect your skin from the outside so that you can lock in moisture when using the serum so that you can keep the benefits. Now when using it, you can use it daily in the morning and or evening. It is suitable for normal to dry skin, and you can either use this serum alone on its own or use it in a skincare routine and apply it before applying your moisturizer. Of course, how you're going to set up your skincare routine depends on your skin needs and personal preference. But I do want to quickly go over a topic that I often hear in my comments, and this is about hyaluronic acid and applying it to damp skin. So you often read that if you're looking up hyaluronic acid and you want to know how you can use it, then the first articles on Google will tell you, well, apply it on damp skin. Well, there's like a big difference on how you look at the actual research and what you may read on the first pages on Google. And I do want to take my time and explain it to you so that you understand what it is actually referring to when looking at the studies. Now, first of all, I like to do my research. If I can get like research that are public, I like to go deep into them. And when it comes to hyaluronic acid, there's actually not that much research like how effective it's going to be if you're going to actually apply it on dry or on damp skin. They never talk about this, so I do not think that this is really a problem. But there's another problem that they are referring to, and this is where the confusion starts. So when looking at hyaluronic acid, there's one little study in my book that I can link in the description box down below so that you can read it in your own time, where it says, well, if you have dry skin and you live in a dry environment and you're working with hyaluronic acid, it potentially can make the skin drier, like you're going to more damage to the skin than good. And since it cannot take the moisture out of the environment, it's going to take it out of the deeper layers of your skin. And this is like very counterproductive when it comes to hyaluronic acid, as it should act like an hydrating ingredient to hydrate and plump skin. Now, this is what the study basically claims. Now, you do not really know how have they been using hyaluronic acid. Did they use the pure form? Did they put it in a formulation? Was hyaluronic acid saturated with water or wasn't it? What other skin ingredients did they use? So you do not have much information about the entire process of how they did the study. But my belief is that the misconception started because they say that if you're applying it on dry skin, it can draw out the moisture from the deeper layers of your skin. Now there's a big difference. If you're going to wash your face and you pat the skin dry and you're immediately applying hyaluronic acid on top, and you're not going to seal it with anything if it does not include any ingredients that can help you to protect the skin from sealing it so that you can keep the moisture within the skin, then it does not play a big role if you're going to apply hyaluronic acid on dry or on damp skin, because if you're living in a dry environment, you have dry skin that's not able to naturally produce enough oil to work like a protective seal, you are going to lose it anyway. So this does not matter if you're applying it on dry or damp skin, because you have already dry skin from the very beginning. So it has nothing to do with the cleansing step and then applying it on damp skin. It has something to do with your actual skin condition, because if you have normal to oily skin, your skin is able to produce like a bit more oil. If you have an oilier skin type or normal skin, it is able to keep it at balance with the hydration and the oil. And the oil works like a protective seal. So if you're going to apply your hyaluronic acid serum on a normal to oily skin and you're going to either pat the skin dry or damp, it won't matter. You won't have any like side effects to it because your oils are able to protect the skin. So one thing is clear, it does not matter if you're applying hyaluronic acid on dry or on damp skin. What matters is if you have a drier skin type and you cannot protect it with a seal, then you may lose the benefits out of it if you're being in a dry environment. And so therefore, if you live in a colder or drier environment where it can pull out the moisture from the skin and you're not going to seal it with anything else that can keep the moisture within, then you may have an actual problem with hyaluronic acid. But then again, you have to think about the overall formulation of your hyaluronic acid product, because I want to give you an example with this one right here. It's an hydrating serum. It contains hyaluronic acid and dimethicone and water. So you're going to, let's imagine a very simple way. You put water in it, the hyaluronic acid powder, you mix it, you stir it up. Your hyaluronic acid is going to absorb the water, which is what it should do. It absorbs the water, which is the moisture that you then put on the skin. And then it also contains dimethicone, which acts like a protective seal. So if you have really dry skin and you're going to apply it on dry, on damp skin, it does not matter, first of all. And at the same time, it does not only hydrate the skin, but protects the skin at the same time. And therefore, technically, you do not need to use a moisturizer afterwards, even though you have dry skin, because the formulation has already everything in one. Of course, you have to look at the ingredients and how your hyaluronic acid serum or cream is formulated overall. But technically, it's not a problem about applying it to dry or damp skin. It's about the environment and actually having a deficit of not producing enough oil. And if you then are not going to seal it, then you may have a problem. And so you really have to take it apart when looking at studies, and it's very confusing, and therefore I now want to take my time to go over it, and hopefully I could give you an idea of what actually has happened in that specific study, and that in most studies it's first of all not always tested on humans, which the skin is an organ. It works differently as if you're going to do this just in a lab. That's one part that I do want to point out. And second of all, you have to consider so many factors, like who it is, what's the skin type, where do they live, what do they eat, what's the oil production, etc., to really go into details on how an ingredient actually works and how effective it may be. So those are just some factors. I know this has not really much to do with the serum itself, but it has something to do with hyaluronic acid and the confusion about it. So this is now where I wanted to take my time with it, but now I want to share with you the example skincare routines that I have prepared for you so that you can see how you can do this setup. Now, I mentioned already that hyaluronic acid is a hydrating ingredient. It does not exfoliate the skin, so hyaluronic acid does not have any conflicts with any other skincare products. So if you want to set up your skincare products, your skincare routine, you can keep it very simple by just using it on its own, or use it along with any other serums or treatments which you may have. Layer from the thinnest to the thickest texture. So a morning routine could look like this. You're going to get started with washing your face using a suitable cleanser for your skin type and needs. Since in this case it is more so suitable for dry to normal skin, you want to look into cleansers that are working well for your dry to normal skin if you're using it for such skin concerns. And then wash your face with it, and then pat the skin dry or damp. This again does not matter. And then move immediately on to the application of your hyaluronic acid serum. Apply it to the skin, and then either just leave it as it is, there you have it, or when being exposed to the sun, follow with a sunscreen or moisturizer that already contains SPF to protect the skin from sun-damaged skin, which can lead to premature aging. Then when it comes to an evening skincare routine, simple way would be, again, cleanse your face. You may want to do a double cleanse if you're trying to remove stubborn sunscreen and or makeup. Pat the skin dry or damp, again, does not matter. And then you're moving on to your hyaluronic acid serum. Either use it on its own, or after you have applied your hyaluronic acid serum, move on to your moisturizer if you should feel the need. Now, of course, this always depends on how dry your skin may be and the feeling of it. Now, again, this would be a very simple skincare routine. If you want to include a toner, exfoliant, or other serums in your skincare routine, layer from the thinnest to the thickest. So cleanser, toner, exfoliant if you want to include it, and then maybe several serums, and then your moisturizer or sunscreen during daytime, and then there you have it. So those are just some example skincare routines. If you find them helpful, you want to use them as a guide to set up your own skincare routine, I'm going to leave them in the description box down below. But as of now, I want to keep my focus on the actual application. So I have two example cleansers right here, an hydrating one and CeraVe's Renewing SA cleanser, which is great for normal skin. Of course, you can also use exfoliating acids while using hyaluronic acid. That's completely fine. Just make sure that when using your cleanser or maybe exfoliating acids, they're working well for your skin type and skin concerns. So in this example, I'm going to use CeraVe's Hydrating Cleanser, which is great for normal to dry skin. If you're using a different one, please make sure to read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser, since the directions may change, and if you can use your cleanser around the eyes or if you should avoid the eye area when using it. Now in this example, I need to apply it on wet skin, so I'm going to get started with wetting my face and neck with lukewarm water to warm water, and then applying the cleanser onto wet skin. You can do this above the sink or use your cleanser in the shower, whatever may be a bit more convenient for you, so go ahead and do this. So now I'm going to get started with wetting my face and then using a bit of the cleanser. Let's do this. So go ahead and use about 1 to 2 palms of your cleanser, about a piece, not a piece size amount, but about a coin size amount. Use it between your hands and then gently massage it all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute. So, and once you have massaged your cleanser all over your face and neck, you now can go ahead and again rinse it off with lukewarm water to warm water. Now, if you should have troubles removing it only with your hands, you can use a fresh and soft washcloth in between, which you can wet, and this can help you to remove the cleanser a bit better, especially when it comes to sunscreen and makeup. So now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. So once you're done with the cleansing step, you can immediately move on to the next step, which is applying CeraVe's Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Serum. Now when using it all over your face and neck, please make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. If that's the case, rinse it immediately with water, and please avoid the eye area. So do not get it too close to the actual eye, and please do not use it on top of your eyelids when applying it. And so it has a pump, so use between like 2 to 3 pumps, which of course depends on how large your face and neck may be, so that you have enough product so that you can evenly and properly apply it thinly over your face and neck. For me personally, I always like to go with about like 1.5 to 2 pumps for my face and neck. This is just a general guide. If you feel like you want to use a bit more, go ahead and use a bit more, but please make sure to not overdo it. About that much, more or less. Use it between your fingers and gently apply it all over your face and neck. So, and once you have applied your hyaluronic acid serum all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now you can stop right here, which is completely fine. However, if you feel the need of using a moisturizer afterwards, go ahead and do so. Just make sure that it's working well for your skin type and needs. I have an example right here from CeraVe's PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion, which is a great evening moisturizer. And when using your moisturizer, either dip with your finger into your jar or maybe use between 2 to 3 pumps and then use it on your fingertips and then evenly apply it all over your face and neck. If you feel the need of using a bit more, then of course adjust the amount of product that you're going to use. And then blend it all over on top of your hyaluronic acid serum. And then once you have applied your moisturizer, then again, there's no need to wash it off. You're going to leave it on the skin. However, when it comes to a morning skincare routine and you plan on being exposed to the sun, my best advice would be following with sun protection to protect the skin from the UV sun rays, which can damage the skin and create premature aging. So if you are concerned about this, then my best advice would be either use a moisturizer that already contains SPF afterwards, or follow with your favorite sunscreen, which you may have at home. Make sure that your sun protection that you're going to use feels comfortable on the skin and does not irritate your skin or your eyes in any way. It should work really well and protect the skin evenly. Now I have two examples right here, and I'm going to use CeraVe's AM Facial Moisturizing Lotion with SPF 30. This is of course just one example. If you have a different one at home, then go ahead and use that one. As a guide, I always like to use a teaspoon to share with you visually of how much sun protection you actually would need for your face, neck, and maybe décolletage. This is again just a general guide, but to give you an idea of how much product you would need to use. So for your face and neck, use about half a teaspoon. For your face, neck, and décolletage, use about 1 teaspoon, and apply 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure. So about that much, more or less. Then use it on your fingertips and then evenly apply it all over your face and neck. Now the half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon is a general guide. If you feel like you have used too much, reduce it by the next time. If you feel like you haven't used enough, then use a bit more. But make sure that you're using enough product to evenly blend it all over. So once you have applied your sunscreen all over your face and neck, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now you only need sun protection during daytime when being exposed to direct sunlight. In the evening is no sunscreen needed. And this would be a simple example of a morning skincare routine that I just have shared with you. And again, if you find the example skincare routines helpful, which I have shared with you earlier, you can download them in the description box down below. And this is what I wanted to share with you. I do hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!